Your Land Rover throws a warning light, drops into limp mode, or refuses to start, and the garage wants $200 just to plug in a machine and look at it. Do not hand over your wallet yet. In a huge number of cases, nothing is actually broken. The truck is not failing, its computers are simply confused, stuck on a scrap of bad data. And what it really needs is not an expensive repair, but a free reset. It is the one trick the people who work on these trucks quietly use on their own Land Rovers, and the dealer would much rather you never learned it. So what is this trick? At its heart, it is a complete hard reset of the car's brain, the engine control unit, and the whole network of modules clustered around it, performed by safely disconnecting the battery and letting the entire system power down before bringing it back to life. Think of the computer that runs your Land Rover exactly like the laptop on your desk or the phone in your pocket.
It is astonishingly clever, but like any computer, it can glitch, lock onto a single bad reading, or carry a corrupted fragment of data that it will never clear on its own, no matter how far you drive. The difference is that nobody ever told you a car could be rebooted in the same way. So the moment a light appears, the instinct is to assume a part has failed and to brace for a bill, when the real fix may be nothing more than teaching the machine to let go of whatever is confusing it. Once you understand that, a warning light stops being something to fear automatically and becomes something to investigate calmly. And investigating calmly, rather than panicking and reaching straight for your wallet, is precisely what turns a nervous owner into a confident one. There is a deeper reason it works, and it is the part almost no owner understands. Over years of driving, your Land Rover's computers do not stay exactly as they left the factory. They constantly build up a thick stack of learned adaptations, quietly compensating for a sensor that has drifted a little, a few tanks of poor fuel, a slightly tired component, or a momentary drop in voltage. Most of the time, that learning genuinely helps, smoothing the car's behavior as it ages. But those adaptations can slowly wander too far in one direction until the compensations themselves become the problem, producing the rough idle, the hesitation, the lazy throttle, and the scattered warning lights that send people straight to the garage. A proper hard reset wipes that accumulated confusion away and forces every module to begin again from its clean factory baseline, exactly the way a sluggish, misbehaving computer suddenly runs sweetly again after a reboot. The car then relearns from scratch, but this time from good, current information rather than years of slowly drifting guesses, and the improvement in how it drives afterwards is often immediate and genuinely surprising the first time you feel it. Drivers often describe the car as feeling years younger, the throttle sharper, and the idle smoother, simply because it is finally working from clean, current data instead of a decade of accumulated guesswork. The reason it succeeds so often comes down to how a modern Land Rover is actually built. These are not simple machines where every fault is a broken part you can hold in your hand. They are dense networks of computers talking to one another thousands of times a second, and an enormous proportion of the problems that frighten owners are not mechanical failures at all. They are electronic hiccups. A check engine light triggered by a single bad reading that has long since passed. A gearbox that dropped into a protective limp mode after one confused moment and simply never came back out. An idle that turned rough because an adaptation quietly drifted. When the trouble is electronic rather than physical, nothing actually needs replacing, and the reset that clears the stored confusion is honestly all the car ever needed. The trick works precisely because it matches the way these cars genuinely fail, which is far more often in their software and their memory than in their metal. Something the people who repair them understand very well, even when they would prefer their customers did not. And Land Rovers in particular have earned a fearsome reputation for exactly this kind of electronic gremlin, the phantom warning and the confused module, which is precisely why this reset clears so many of the faults that owners of these trucks quietly dread. Understanding this one fact, that a Land Rover fails in its memory far more often than in its metal, is what lets you meet a warning light with curiosity instead of dread. It is worth pausing on the battery itself because it sits right at the heart of why this works and why so many faults appear in the first place. A modern Land Rover is extraordinarily sensitive to voltage, and a battery that is merely weak or aging long before it is dead enough to leave you stranded will throw a baffling spread of completely unrelated warnings across the car. The traction control light, a strange gearbox message, an air suspension fault warning,
the terrain response system throwing a wobble, scattered gremlins flickering across the message center. All of them can trace back to nothing more than tired voltage confusing one module after another. This is why disconnecting the battery does double duty. It forces the full reset of the computers, and it gives you the perfect moment to check the battery's health and its connections while you are in there. On more than a few cars, the reset clears the symptoms and a healthy, properly charged battery stops them ever coming back. And the entire frightening episode turns out to have been a simple power problem wearing the mask of a mechanical one. It is genuinely worth having the battery load tested while you were there, because a battery can show a normal resting voltage and still be far too weak under load to keep these sensitive modules happy, which is how a perfectly drivable car still manages to throw a whole constellation of strange faults. Now here's how you actually do it properly, because there is a right way and a careless way, and the careless way is exactly why some people try this, feel nothing change, and give up. Park the car safely on level ground, switch off the ignition, and turn absolutely everything off. The lights, the climate, the radio, so no module is left awake and drawing power. Find the battery, which on many Land Rovers sits in the engine bay, though on a good number of models it lives under a front seat or in the load space behind a trim panel, so check your manual if it is not obvious. Loosen and disconnect the negative terminal first, the one marked with a minus symbol, and tuck the cable well out of the way so it cannot spring back onto the post. If you want a deeper reset, you can then disconnect the positive as well, but the negative alone is enough on most cars. Wear eye protection. Take off any metal watch, rings, or bracelets so you cannot accidentally bridge the terminals, and make sure the loose clamps cannot swing back onto the battery while you wait. None of this needs special tools beyond a single spanner, and taking these few small precautions is the difference between a clean, safe job and an avoidable spark or a nasty scare. The single most important part of the whole procedure, and the part almost everyone rushes, is the waiting. Leave that battery disconnected for at least 15 to 20 full minutes. This is not idle caution. The car's modules hold their state in capacitors that take real time to drain completely. And only once they have fully discharged does the memory truly clear and the reset actually take hold. A quick 2-minute disconnect simply is not long enough. The residual charge keeps the confused data alive, and that single mistake is the reason so many people wrongly decide the trick is a myth. So set a timer, walk away, and let it sit.
While you wait, it is the ideal moment to take a clean cloth to the battery terminals and clamps, because corrosion and a loose connection cause many of the very voltage problems we have just been talking about. And a bright, tight connection on reassembly is part of the fix rather than an afterthought. Patience here genuinely is the whole secret, because everything clever about this trick depends on those capacitors emptying completely. And there is simply no shortcut that gets you there any faster. Reconnecting the battery is only half the job, because the car now has to relearn everything you just wiped. And skipping this stage is exactly why a car can feel slightly worse for a day before it settles. Reconnect the positive first if you removed it, and the negative last, each clamp snug but never over-tightened. Then start the engine and simply let it idle for several minutes without touching the throttle, allowing it to find its base idle again from a clean slate.
After that, take it for a calm drive of 15 or 20 minutes through a normal range of speeds and gears, so the engine and the ZF 8-speed gearbox can relearn their adaptations properly, and you will often find the gearbox shifts crisper afterwards than it has in a long while. On most Land Rovers, you will also need to reinitialize the one-touch windows by holding each switch fully up until the glass closes, and then holding it a second or two longer. And if the truck rides on air suspension, it will usually re-reference its own ride height in the first minutes of driving, so let it settle before you judge it. If your infotainment asks for a security code when it wakes back up, make sure you have that code to hand before you ever begin, never after. Give the car a day or two of normal driving after all this, and you will feel it settle fully into its fresh adaptations, running noticeably sweeter than it did before you started. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. So what does this single trick actually fix? Far more than you would believe. It clears a check engine light that is still stubbornly glowing after you have already dealt with whatever caused it, like a loose fuel cap you have since retightened. It brings a car back out of a limp mode that was triggered by one transient glitch rather than any real failure. It smooths a rough, hunting idle and wakes up a throttle that had grown lazy and slow to answer. It can quietly recover the fuel economy that slipped away as bad adaptations piled up over the months. And it cures an entire family of electrical gremlins that drive owners to despair. The message center warnings that flash up and vanish, the frozen or glitching infotainment screen, the stubborn tire pressure light that simply refuses to go out, the parking sensors bleeping at nothing, and the air suspension warning that appears on a cold morning and clears by lunchtime. Time and again, the fault that looked like the beginning of a frightening repair bill turns out to be nothing more than a confused computer that needed to be switched off and back on again, properly and patiently, which is the whole reason this one free procedure has quietly saved so many owners so much money. The list of niggles it can clear is genuinely long, and for most owners, at least one of those frustrating intermittent problems they had simply learned to live with turns out to be exactly the kind of confusion a patient reset sweeps away in a single afternoon. Now for the honesty that the other videos on this subject quietly leave out, because this part matters more than all the rest. A reset is not real magic, and it cannot repair. It'll clear for a little while after your reset, and then come straight back, sometimes within minutes, sometimes after a day or two. That is not the trick failing you. That is the trick telling you something genuinely valuable. A light that returns after a proper, patient reset is your Land Rover confirming that you have a real fault that truly needs diagnosing, and knowing that with certainty, before you have spent a single penny at a workshop, is worth a great deal on its own. It even sharpens the conversation you then have with a mechanic, because walking in and saying you have already done a full reset and the fault came straight back tells them at once that they are chasing something real, not a ghost, and that alone can save you money on wasted diagnostic time. In that sense, the reset is as much a diagnostic tool as a repair, because whether the light stays off or comes straight back, you have learned something concrete and useful about your own car that you simply did not know 20 minutes earlier. This is also why you must use the reset honestly, and never as a way to hide from a problem. It is the perfect tool for clearing genuine confusion and the phantom faults that follow a glitch or a flat battery, but it is the wrong tool entirely for burying a warning you simply do not want to deal with. Never use it to mask a recurring light just long enough to scrape through an inspection or an emissions test, because the underlying issue has not gone anywhere, and a fault you keep resetting instead of fixing is just a small problem you are quietly allowing to grow into a large and expensive one. There is a practical catch here too, because clearing the computer also wipes the readiness monitors that an emissions test depends on, and the car may then be turned away at the test station until it has been driven enough miles to complete all of its self-checks again. So time any reset sensibly, and treat a light that keeps coming back as information to act on, not noise to keep silencing. Used with that honesty, the reset stays firmly on your side, clearing the phantom faults for free while never tempting you to paper over the real ones, which is exactly the balance that keeps a car both cheap to run and genuinely safe to drive. It is worth being clear too about the genuine Land Rover faults this trick will never touch, because no amount of resetting fixes a failing ZF 8-speed valve body, a stretched Ingenium timing chain, a worn TDV6 crankshaft, a tired water pump, a clogged diesel particulate filter, or air suspension bags that have worn out. Those are real physical problems with real physical causes. If a warning keeps returning alongside symptoms like a misfire, a rattle or knock from the engine, a temperature gauge climbing, a sweet coolant smell, a corner of the truck sagging to the floor overnight, or a gearbox that jolts and flares, then the reset has already done its most useful job simply by proving the fault is real, and the correct response is a proper diagnosis rather than another reboot. Learning to tell the difference between a merely confused computer and a genuinely sick engine is, in truth, the single most valuable thing this whole procedure teaches you, and it is knowledge that protects both your wallet and your car. A reset that holds is a small win you get to enjoy, and a reset that does not hold is an early warning you should be grateful for, because catching a real fault while it is still small is almost always far cheaper than discovering it the hard way later on. There is one more thing to respect before you pull the battery off a modern Land Rover, because these cars are electronically dense, and on some models, disconnecting the battery can unsettle certain comfort systems, wipe your saved seat and radio settings, drop the clock and date, or, on the very newest cars, even expect a replacement battery to be formally coded to the vehicle. For most owners on most models, the simple disconnect and relearn is completely safe, and is precisely what the workshops themselves do behind closed doors. But if your car is very new or heavily optioned, a cheap memory saver device, which feeds a small trickle of power into the system while the main battery is off, lets you reset the engine management without losing any of your personal settings. It is worth knowing that such a device only preserves those settings. It does not prevent the reset from doing its real work on the engine and gearbox adaptations, so you still get the full benefit while keeping your presets intact. For the price of a cheap accessory then, you remove the only real downside the procedure has on a modern car, and you carry out the very same reset the professionals use without the minor annoyance of resetting your seat, your clock, and your radio afterwards. And that, in the end, is the real reason so many people in the trade quietly wish you had never found out about this. There is simply no invoice to write for a customer who calmly reboots their own car in their own driveway in 20 minutes. The very same confused computer, wheeled onto a workshop ramp, would have been worth a diagnostic fee at the counter, and, far too often, a replacement part that was never actually faulty to begin with. None of this makes mechanics villains. Plenty of them are honest and genuinely skilled, but the system around them profits handsomely from owners believing that every warning light is a disaster, when a meaningful share of them are nothing of the sort. So that is the reset trick the dealers would rather keep to themselves. It is free, it takes around 20 careful, patient minutes, and it resolves a genuinely large share of the everyday electronic problems that send Land Rover owners into a needless panic.
Do it properly. Give the battery the full time it needs to drain, complete the relearn drive, and respect the few modern car cautions. And you turn what felt like the start of an expensive repair into a quiet job in your own garage. Just hold on to the one golden rule that keeps you honest and your car safe. If the light comes back, listen to it, because then your Land Rover is no longer confused. It is genuinely asking for help. Give it proper attention then. And between the free resets that clear the phantom faults and the honest diagnosis that handles the real ones, you will keep your Land Rover running sweetly for far less than the trade would ever have you believe.